so, Dr. Will, can you introduce to the audience what ZOE is and who is it for?
Sure. So ZOE is a science and nutrition company. And basically what we're trying to do is understand the personal nature of our response to individual food.
So we are gathering stool, my understanding, right? Is it saliva, blood? What else are we gathering?
Okay, so what we're gathering, a kit comes to your home, all right? And we're going to gather gut microbiome using a poop test.
All right, hey guys, welcome to American College of Lifestyle Medicine. We're here live in Orlando, 2024. I am joined by the world famous Dr. Will B, who's also the author of Fiber Fueled. Great book. And he's also here for ZOE. And so, Dr. Will, can you introduce to the audience what ZOE is and who is it for?
Sure. So ZOE is a science and nutrition company. And basically what we're trying to do is understand the personal nature of our response to individual food. We all know that there is no one size fits all, right? But the problem is, how do we understand those choices so that we can make better food choices for ourselves? The way that we accomplish this is ultimately with huge data. So we need to get a massive data set with as many data points as possible from as many people as possible. And then once we have all that, we can take advantage of the new technologies that exist, which include machine learning and artificial intelligence. And applying these new tools using supercharged computers that, frankly, this was not possible 10 years ago, to this data to basically ask the question, if I were to take you, Colin, recreate you, and have a man exact same age as you, exact same health history as you, the same microbiome as you, right? What would I feed that person to power better health? And that's the way that we approach this. For every single person who does ZOE, we're ultimately trying to answer that question for that person. And the way that we accomplish it is with big data.
So here's a question I've heard, right? And you can, correct me if I'm wrong, is the microbiome, as we're learning, is almost like a fingerprint. It's almost like a DNA fingerprint that's very, very unique to that individual.
Yep.
So you just said that, okay, we gather all these data points and we have to feed them different things that is customized to them, but is it also an evolution? Does the microbiome not change, and does the food change with them as well?
Right. So the microbiome is constantly changing, right? So the food choices that we make today will start to change our microbiome by tomorrow. And the food choices that we make over the course of weeks will evolve the microbiome. So one of the things that we do with ZOE is we actually retest the microbiome. So the program is typically 4 months, and at the end of 4 months, you have the option to do microbiome retesting. All right. Now, how can we use that initial microbiome data point, just that initial data point? The answer is that we've validated this. So we've demonstrated that using that information, as well as your blood sugar and your response to foods and your blood fat, we can combine those different things to ultimately make those recommendations. And we know that it works because we ran a randomized control trial where we compared the ZOE program to U.S. dietary guidelines. And at the end of that trial, the people who were doing the ZOE program had superior results when compared to U.S. dietary guidelines in terms of their blood triglycerides, in terms of their hemoglobin A1C, in terms of weight loss, in terms of waist circumference, which is basically visceral fat, right? And also in terms of how they felt. So an interesting thing, they had less hunger. They were losing weight, and they had less hunger. So that's kind of a cool thing.
That is very cool. Yeah.
They had better mood, they were sleeping better, and they had more energy, which of course those are things that are hard for us to quantify, but people care about that. I want to feel more energy, right? Don't we all?
Yeah.
So, and those are the things that we found, and they're published in our most recent paper in Nature Medicine, which was in May of this year. I was one of the co-authors of the study.
So we are gathering stool, my understanding, right? Is it saliva, blood? What else are we gathering?
Okay, so what we're gathering, a kit comes to your home, all right? And we're going to gather gut microbiome using a poop test. We're going to do a continuous glucose monitor. So you pop this in, right, to your shoulder, and it's going to measure your blood sugar 24 hours a day for 14 days. During that time, you open up the ZOE app and you enter in there what you're eating. And we're going to synchronize to this. So we can see what you just ate and then what your blood sugar tracing is afterwards. It's conceptually similar to an EKG, right? So an EKG is a heart tracing. We're looking at something that's a tracing of your blood sugar and your metabolism in response to food. And then the third part that's, I think, quite important and interesting is blood fat, which is that we give people cookies. And the key is that the cookie, we know exactly what's in that cookie. And you will eat the exact same cookie that I eat. And after we eat these cookies, we're going to measure our triglyceride after the meal. We're going to measure our blood sugar after the meal. And then enter that into our database where we have 200,000 people. And we can compare, look, we're all in there, and we can compare all of us because we all ate the exact same thing.
Yeah, yeah. What about the utilization of like food diaries and food journals? Does that matter within your data collection?
So the app becomes your food diary in a way. So we try to make the app like very helpful, right? So you can get an individualized food score, right? That's ultimately what gets played back to the person who does ZOE, is that we have a catalog of like 30,000 different foods. You can search for any of them. And for any food, it's going to give you a score from 0 to 100. That's going to let you your unique response to it. You could click on that food and you could drill down deeper and you could understand the food in terms of its impact on your gut health, on your blood sugar, and on your blood fat. Okay? So you receive all that, but there's also recipes, and you can build your recipes within the app, and that recipe will actually have a ZOE score. So this is sort of the strategy, and in a way, this is also your food log.
Because eventually you want them to just take off, right? Being able to have mindful choices, understanding how these food choices affect their microbiome in the past, but also moving forward for the future.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's not just food scores, right? The food scores are like the personalized element of this, but it's also understanding how to use the information that you're learning about yourself, your own body, and how you're responding to food. And that's what the program is. So during the course of the program, you're basically learning about these things. So there's an educational component.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for your hard work and the company. I wish them much, much success. And where do you want to see the company grow in like 5-10 years?
Well, so the cool thing about it is this, that every single person who does ZOE, they receive the benefit of this very large data set. It's the world's largest microbiome data set. It's the world's largest nutrition study, okay? So they receive the benefit of learning about their response to food. But they are also contributing their data to this data set. We're powered by these people, right? So people who use our program are basically powering us to do better science, to continue to grow. There was a day a while ago when we only had 1,000 people. We're at 200,000 people.
Wow.
It will be a great day when we're at 1 million or 2 million or 5 million. And as this grows, as the data set grows, so does our process and our ability to be very specific and precise with our recommendations. So does our ability to start to dig into new topics, such as if you have Crohn's disease, if you have a specific health condition, like what would we do for that health condition?
Yeah. I mean, as a family practitioner, endless of indigestion, IBS, SIBO, just so many different things. These foods are taking a hold of me. They weren't before. And it's just, for the conventional side of it, it's like there's no label for it. Everything is essential or a syndrome, right? There's no exact attack plan. So having more understanding about this from a clinical perspective is very, very valuable.
Yeah, and just to be totally clear that the ZOE program is intended to help a person to optimize their metabolism. So like if you think about it, what we're targeting with our machine learning, because with machine learning, you're teaching it to like target a specific health outcome. We want to control your blood sugar and we want to control your blood fat after a meal. That's our goal. All right. But if we accomplish this, this is where weight loss happens. This is where you lose visceral fat. This is where LDL cholesterol goes down. Blood pressure goes down, cardiovascular risk goes down. But then there's all these other byproducts that occur, which can include digestive health, can include mood, or these other things that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Intended effects, byproducts of intended effects.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Hey,
Thank you, Colin.
I appreciate
Good
you.
to see you.
All right.